It's really
It
slow.
says viewers.
What's that?
Is that
Okay,
live?
we are live now. We are live.
We are live.
Guys.
Hey,
Yes, we are. Woohoo! All right, welcome to Whiskey Thursdays, another episode. I think this is episode number. I've lost track. So, hey, actually, I should mention this for for anybody out there that wants to check out the replays. And you've missed this announcement in the past. We do have a YouTube channel where we are uploading all of the Whiskey Thursdays. So I know there's some people in the group that have been taking advantage of that. But if you missed past episodes, we've had some really, really good ones in the past. You can go ahead and search the YouTube for our channel, which is
search the YouTube.
Search the YouTube.
Take a break from the Facebook and search the YouTube.
That's right. So search the YouTube for the what's it called? Facebook. I forget the name of the group all the time.
Conversion or real estate marketing and conversions, or
yes. Yeah, real estate marketing and conversions mastery. So that's what you search on YouTube. So we can always drop a link down in the comments as well. But anyways, if you want to see the replays, you can go take a look at them there. Tonight, basically, again, this is November, December. We mentioned that we're going to be talking about client acquisition. We are dedicating these 2 months to that. This is a great time to start getting out there, talking to clients. In the new year, you're going to see that a lot of real estate agents are going to start making decisions. It's exactly what happened to me 2 years ago, or last year. What's that?
No, keep going.
Were you saying something?
That was you saying something, apparently. I was just trying to get into our...
This is a great time. Oh, no, it is me saying something. What are you doing, listening to the live?
I'm trying to get on the live so I can see the comments.
Okay.
Well, we got to talk to the viewers, right?
Absolutely. Who's on? I'll let you do your thing. I'll let you do your thing before we get started.
That's right. Yeah, if you're watching live, hashtag live in the comments below. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay in the comments below. And also, we always ask where everybody's from. What's another question we could ask? That would be a fun one.
I don't know, while you think of that.
What did you do before you started marketing? Let us know what you did before you jumped into marketing. What pushed you over the edge?
Well, I can tell you what pushed me over the edge.
Yeah.
My $500,000 lawsuit was what pushed me over the edge. Anyways, that's a story for another time. Yeah.
That'll do it. Sometimes they say $250,000 will do it, but I think it takes $500,000.
Yeah. Rough times. But anyways, so here's the thing. Okay. I posted this, so I went to a different group. Actually, it was in Jeff Miller's group. I don't know if you saw that post or not. But why the hell do we say like hashtag live, hashtag replay? Like what? I get it. I get the engagement thing. I totally get that.
Yeah, there's the
What's the point? No. Let me clarify. What is the point of the hashtag? Because last week we told everybody hashtag masterclass, and then I ended up spending half an hour going through all the comments looking for the word masterclass. I thought the whole point of the hashtag was so that you can easily search something. So I posted that in Jeff's group. A few people commented and clarified. Yeah, a couple people said it was, it's useless. And a few it's like,
is that what they said? Is basically it's useless.
Pretty much, but I guess it's more for networking purposes and things like that, and just for. Not really for lives, but
well, and in the future, when we run the show from like a bot and share it to the group, then I think we can do something with it, right? I forget how that works.
I don't know. We'll have to go ask in Jeff's group. Anyways, so I'm done with the hashtags. Just to let everybody know.
So just comment live.
That's right. Just comment live.
Hashtag no hashtag.
That's right. The hashtag means nothing. So as I was saying earlier, so we've dedicated the past 2 months to November, December to client acquisition. We've got a masterclass coming up next week. We're super excited. I am so excited for this masterclass. I really think this is something that I'll be implementing in my own business. The results that Cheryl is getting. She did an event, a couple of weeks ago. She's still pulling in results from that event. She's still signing up clients. She's getting referrals. It's absolutely amazing. $26,000 for 3 days of work. Incredible. So if you're not, if you're not in that masterclass, and you don't want to grow your business, or you want to figure out a different way, then fine. But if you're looking for a way to really accelerate your growth and make bank, like this is a really cool way of acquiring clients and making money to do your presentations. So and the cool
fact that you're actually getting paid to pitch.
Absolutely, it's awesome.
To hear you pitch, and then they'll pay you after you pitch.
Absolutely. So that's pretty awesome. So Cheryl's going to pop on here at about 9:30 or so. Okay. We're just going to go over really quickly. Just there's been some questions. I've been getting messages and stuff like that. Just what are we covering? Is it going to work for me? Can I apply this in different niches? Things like that. So she's going to come on. She's going to clarify. We're going to just go over the agenda, what we're going to hold on masterclass. Great opportunity for anybody that wants to ask questions. You can go ahead and ask questions directly to Cheryl. So she'll pop on. We've got Leighton, who's popping on. We hope that's the right name. I'm pretty sure it's Leighton, but Leighton Butler is coming on. This guy, who did, God, what was the number? Anyways, $30,000-$40,000. He grew his business to just by cold calling, and so he's popping on at the end, which is pretty cool. So for anybody that's struggling with cold calling, and or is just looking for some tips or wants to get into it.
Or wants to get into cold calling at all.
Exactly. He's coming on. He's going to share some secrets and some tips. He's going to pop on here at about 9:40, between 9:45, 10 o'clock, near the end of the show, and he's going to pop on for 20 minutes or so and talk to us. And he's a really cool guy too. If you guys haven't heard his accent, this is he's pretty.
Oh, I didn't know he had an accent.
No, he's a really nice guy. Yeah, really cool guy. And on top of his game, like he knows what he's doing. He's working with a lot of agents right now. So I think that's going to be
we'll have to
really
remember
cool.
to ask, like, does your accent help you close more deals when you're cold calling?
I think it does. It has to.
I mean, I don't even know what kind of accent it is yet.
Yeah,
but I'm
absolutely. Absolutely. So guys, if you got any questions about client acquisition, or if there's any specific topics you guys want to talk about, let us know down in the comments. You don't have to hashtag anything. You just post the comment. That's it. And
but Facebook turns it blue. Okay, Facebook turns it blue. So the hashtag has to do something blue.
Anyways, I haven't figured it out because I like I told you last week, I had to go through all the comments to look for the masterclass so that I could send people links. Anyways. So that's pretty much it.
Well, but before we go there, Shane, I wanted to ask you, because I don't think a lot of people know how you built your business up, right? Like your client acquisition strategy when you first started, and kind of what we're talking about with that. So
what do you want to know? You want to know my client acquisition, how I started, right? Like from the beginning, from the beginning.
Yeah, like
I can definitely.
If you're brand new agent starting over today, what are you going to do? Because what you did obviously worked.
Yeah, it worked when I finally figured it out. So it didn't work in the beginning, but eventually it did. And I think what ended up happening is I just ended up laying a really good foundation at the beginning, and now it's become much easier. Obviously now, with the groups and things like that, it becomes even easier because you start building, authority in the space. So what?
All right. I just remembered the best thing about hashtags. Okay. So for instance, if you want to hear how Shane acquired his clients, hashtag Shane's secrets. Now, guess what? Later on, people can go into Facebook and they can search hashtag Shane's secrets, and they'll go right back to this video where they're going to be able to see that.
Okay, so go hashtag masterclass. Like go search for hashtag masterclass. I did that, and there's like 5,000. Yeah, it doesn't go straight to this video.
Yeah, no. But like, for instance, some friends of mine, they did a home renovation and they documented the whole thing, and so they hashtag their last name, home renovation, and it's really cool because I can look that up. And I can see their whole home renovation from start to finish.
Theirs and every other person's home renovation.
No, because they use their last name in the hashtag. So they use I'm not Kramer. So like Kramer home renovation, somebody could type that in and look at my whole home renovation. So if we say Shane's secrets 24896,
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. But if we make it a little bit unique, people are going to be able to look it up really easily.
I get.
So
Okay.
that's what the hashtags were.
Okay. So, if you want to learn more about the masterclass, hashtag Cheryl's masterclass.
There we go.
Okay.
Paid to pitch.
Perfect.
Hashtag paid to pitch.
Okay. That's what we should have done.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I got it. I got it now. It's all good, and like the reality. So, like I'm on Facebook every day now, all the time. 3 years ago, I had to have my son sit down with me and explain to me what Instagram was. I had no idea. And I think before I hopped into like the Dan Henry Club, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, my account was deactivated on Facebook. So like I've never used Facebook in my life. Like I'm still learning how to do this. So and it takes me a little while to catch on, right? I mean, the old age is kicking in, and so anyways.
my Facebook account when I opened it was a @college email address, when you could only have Facebook if you had a college email address.
Wow, you've been on for a while.
I've been on for a while, and the coolest thing was I was in high school, but because I was dual enrolled, I was one of the few high schoolers with a Facebook.
Wow, you're special. You're special. Anyways, okay, so client acquisition really, really quickly before we get Cheryl here to pop on. Just some of the things that I did when I first started. Actually, before I jump into that, and just
we just keep teasing people.
What? No, I just wanted to say something, because I want to actually say something before joining this, because of the events that happened in the U.S. and I'm from Canada and stuff like that. And I read a post by James Cluster. I don't know if you saw his post or not.
No.
So anyways, our condolences to the families, people that have been affected by whatever happened, the stuff that happened in the U.S. today. But it really hit me when I read James's post, and as I was going to the liquor store to pick up my liquor for tonight, and just that feeling of feeling unsafe and stuff. I just can't imagine how people are feeling and everything that's been going on and stuff like that. So it's not something that we experience here, but definitely our like I said, our condolences to everybody in the U.S. That's been affected by this, and everybody, our members, and it's a hard thing to go through, right? So very devastating. So anyways, just wanted to say that. So as a Canadian, we're not as affected here, but I definitely was thinking about it when I saw James's post. I was like, fuck, man, that's like, damn, when you got to live through that, and then you got to live every day, vigilant and scared and all that stuff. It's tough. We don't have to experience that here. So not fun. Anyways, those are my thoughts. But you live in Detroit, so it's like,
I live in Detroit.
it's like, anyways.
How many times are we on the phone during the week and you can hear sirens?
It's all the time, man.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah. So client acquisition. So I don't know if a lot of people knew this about what ended up happening to me. So I did 11 trials when I first got started in this. So I'm part of the Dan Henry group, and the teachings there are basically post your career student and go out and get clients, right? Not really what I did, but I kind of did a little bit of it. I modified the script. I didn't follow instructions, whatever. I ended up getting 11 trials, one after the other. I got a few of them, and I bombed every single one of those. But the way that I started getting real paying clients is I just ended up going out to my network. So people that I knew, friends and family, co-workers, past employers, things like that. I reached out to all of them over email, over Facebook, LinkedIn, quite a bit on LinkedIn, and quite a bit on email. And basically what I just told them is, hey, listen, I'm starting up this new business. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing a lot of marketing. Like I'm basically getting into marketing and growing other people's businesses. If you know anybody that might be interested in these services, let me know. And that's how I started acquiring clients. And it's amazing what ends up happening is people, especially your friends and family and people that you're close to, these people want to help. And they're what I found out is that the people are more than willing to give up a name and a telephone number. The second thing I found out was that
these were just people that you knew,
Yeah, just my immediate networks, basically my sphere, right?
They weren't in marketing. I think that's something that people like need to know. Like you called just regular people that you know.
I didn't call anybody, actually. I just emailed everybody and reached out on LinkedIn. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Just the people you know.
Just people I knew. Yeah. But
industry specific or anything like that.
No.
That's awesome. That's awesome because I think so many people, and I thought it when I started, I was like, man, I don't want to reach out to all these people because they're not going to know, business owners, or they're not going to know people that can help me out or that I could potentially help them out or whatever. So it was like, I didn't want to inconvenience people by asking them and then they say no, but you're saying this is what you did and it worked really well.
Yeah, it was great. So, like I always knew this about people, especially people that, like you're close to, right? So whether it was past employers or, people you've worked with, like friends and family and other business owners that I mean, people tend to be really helpful, and they're happy to try and help you out, right? So, but the second thing that I thought was really, really cool was that once you have that name and number and you call them up, you now have a referral. So these guys aren't going to be like, I don't want to talk to you, right?
Right.
So it's like, hey, Bob from so-and-so said I should be calling you. This is what I'm doing. I'm wondering if maybe you'd have time for a quick coffee just so I can sit down. I'm just trying to learn different businesses, figure out what's going to work, what's not going to work. Would you mind just, spending 10, 15 minutes with me? And that was it. And nobody, it was very rare anybody said no because it was a referral.
It's like a warm lead.
Exactly. And so that was about what I found out after that. Like once I did that, those were the sort of my trials that I got. I then applied it to, because I started doing a lot more real estate stuff. I applied it to the real estate niche. So I made it more specific to real estate. And so now my emails were more focused on the real estate niche. And hey, I'm reaching out because I'm still working on my new business, thinking this and that. Can you recommend the best real estate agent that I can speak to about the real estate industry? And of course, what ends up happening is everybody knows a real estate agent, because most of the people in my network own homes. They work with real estate agents and so on. And what I found out about that is the best part is that no real estate agent that has gotten, if you're getting a referral, no real estate agent's ever going to say no to you because they're so afraid to lose the client, right? So if I get a referral from Bob saying call Jim, and I call Jim and say, hey, listen, Bob told me I should be calling you because you're the top real estate agent in the area, and he said that you are the guy that I need, that can tell me about the industry and so on. Would you mind, if I just pick your brain for 5 to 10 minutes, have coffee, whatever? And I've never ever got a no from that. So that was the way that I ended up getting a lot of trials, and eventually landing one of my best clients and my biggest client, which was a $47,000 deal that I signed. Which was my first paying client. So that $47,000 client was my first paying client.
Wow.
After 6 months of struggling and trying to land a client, the biggest thing I did, so I went through those 11 trials, and I always pitched as the, I never pitched, but once I got to the point where it was okay, now I need to pitch and I, see if I can get them on. I was basically always the Facebook guy, right? And so I'm building business. I'm
Sirens.
Facebook. What's that?
Sirens.
I was basically the Facebook ads guy. I'm building a business. I can generate Facebook leads, this and that. And so I finally get a meeting with this client, a brokerage, medium-sized brokerage doing, 500-600 deals a year or so. And but definitely, it was one of the clients that I wanted to work with. I finally get a meeting. I sit down at the meeting, and I'm talking to the to the operations manager, and she basically tells me, we're already generating leads, and I'm like, well, okay, who does your leads? She's like, I do. Like, who does your Facebook ads? She's like, I do. I put them up, and I searched it on, she's a member of the Craig Proctor whatever coaching stuff, and he gives away all the ads and stuff. And she's generating 400 to 450 leads a month on her own.
Oh, wow.
You know, and it's like,
so you're
like,
I am not going to get this one.
No, and I'm sitting there in a meeting with her. It took me 3 months to get this meeting. I'm devastated, right? Like, it's just my heart sank while I'm sitting there. And that was the moment where everything kind of changed for me at that point, was that I was no longer the Facebook ads guy, and I was now a problem solver, right? Okay. So it's like, okay, well, that's great. You know, you're generating leads. What are some of your other bigger challenges? And that meeting ended up lasting close to 2 hours. We went through all kinds of other challenges. Her biggest challenge, like anybody else's, is that the agents were just not closing, or basically just not following up with the leads, right? So that turned into a contract to provide more training, a lot of training, and then just build out an ISA team. And that's how I ended up starting from that. So from that moment on, I went from the Facebook ads guy to a problem solver, and now every single most of the pitches that we do now are around like, okay, well, what's your problem? You know, what are we trying to solve? Where do you want to get to? What's the motivation? Why do you need to get there? You know, things like that. And then we try to solve a problem, right?
Well, and you said something. You said, I never pitch. What did you mean by that?
Oh, like, you know, you always have so I go on these you know, like these meetings, or these you know, talk to these people just over coffee or whatever. And you just kind of have normal conversations with these people, right? I mean, these people are people. It's just have a normal conversation. Don't just go in there and start pitching what you're doing. I mean, and it's the similar, you know, strategy to what I do now when we talk to clients. My first 15, 20 minutes of a conversation is typically, you know, about them and what they do and their families and where they want to, you know, where they want to get to in their businesses, and just normal conversations. So and it's very, it's I guess it's kind of rare where I start pitching. Like, I never pitch right away. It never happens. I always try to figure out, okay, well, what opportunities is there? What problems do they have? What challenges are they facing? And then try to solve those.
Makes sense. Well, I think that's some great info. We do got to get Cheryl on, because it's coming up on 9:30 here. Shane, is there any chance that you could pull up some of those old emails that you sent out when you first started, and maybe we can get a copy of one of those in the group, if or maybe for the people who stay till the end, we can get a copy of those emails.
No. Come on. I'm not sharing all my secrets. Yeah, I could definitely pull one of those up. That's not a problem.
Awesome. So if you guys want that, Shane's first email, hashtag Shane's first.
It's going to take me, yeah, it's going to take me a little while to search. I just checked my Gmail account. There's 13,000 unread messages.
Okay.
So give me a little while.
Hashtag that, stay till the end, and we'll give you the second hashtag. And that's where we'll get those people a copy of the email. Sound fair?
Yeah. Any questions? I can't see the questions.
On that? Yeah. Any questions on Shane's acquisition strategy or pitching in general? Because, I mean, that is one thing that you do really well, is your pitch, which is not a pitch, right? Pitching without pitching.
Yeah, typically. It's usually if I'm pitching, it's like, you know, very close to the end.
You know, one thing I just thought about that I think would be kind of hilarious, but you could probably pay a local realtor to list your house and remove it from the market, expire it the next day. Maybe give them $100. Be like, just put my house on and expire it the next day. When you expire your listing, you are going to get agents pounding the phones, calling you because they want you to list your house. And at that point, you're driving leads to you. How funny would that be?
Well, you know, it's funny because when I first started in this, we sold two houses. Well, we were selling one house and selling another one, and I was actually like a lot of my testing, like for lead generation and one of the big reasons why I got into the real estate niche is because I was actually testing against my own houses. Like I was generating leads for one of our townhouses that we were selling. And I did actually really well. What's that?
Leighton says he's going to do it. Oh, Leighton, I can't wait to chat with you in a little bit on this cold calling strategy and hear about when you expire your house this week.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh my goodness. You're going to get so many people. My brother-in-law's house, so he was selling his condo and it expired. and they decided to wait till spring. And he said he had 86 calls, I think by like 6 p.m. that day.
Wow.
Yeah. He was just like in shock. He's like, how do I make this go away? I'm like, you list your house.
Yeah.
Pick the winner.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just wait. And eventually it goes away. Sorta. Sorta.
Something else that it's for anybody that's starting out, something else that really worked well for me were open houses. It was a great way to get in front of real estate agents.
So you were just walking into the open house.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how I'd feel about that as a realtor. Like if you came in and you were like, hey, how's it going? And I'd be like, hey, and try and get you to sign in. And then you're like, no, actually, I want to talk about your business.
Well, you're not walking in there. You basically walking in there as somebody that's interested in the real estate industry. And it's like, I just want to take a look. Do you mind? And it was also, I remember when I was doing this in Ottawa, I remember searching that, like the houses themselves, and be very, very specific what type of houses I was going to. Because you don't want to go to brand new listings. You don't want to go to, 3-bedroom homes that are super popular at the medium price point. Those aren't the houses you want to go to. So I basically researched the client a little bit. I'd find, specific open houses that were like, $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 homes, and just homes that I knew that maybe the realtor just, wasn't going to be all that busy. And the majority of them, I'd walk in, the realtor's sitting on the couch, and I tell them right away, like as soon as I walk, I'm like, I'm really interested in the real estate industry. I just want to, take a peek, look around, and that's it. And they're like, okay, no problem. Now, maybe it's just because the city I'm in, people are super friendly. I don't know, but it worked well. You can easily spark conversation. But it's what I found was it was a really good way to get a much better understanding of the real estate industry as a whole, right? The other thing I found out too is real estate agents, they'll talk to anybody because a lot of them can sponsor you. So if you're showing interest in the industry, in the back of their mind, they're like, hey, maybe this guy wants to be a real estate agent, right? So
yeah. I mean, you could probably do that with Keller Williams agents, EXP agents, exit agents. They all have that downline stuff going on. So if you talk to them about getting into the real estate industry, like if that's your opener, it'd probably be really easy to get into conversation. For sure.
So I did a few of those and ended up actually booking some meetings for those.
Steve is asking, Shane, I'd like to know how you did Facebook prospecting to get clients. I remember you saying that's how you grew quickly. Is that something maybe we can talk about? And you tell me if you have enough time today, but maybe after Leighton is on, maybe we can talk about your Facebook prospecting
sure.
a little bit.
Yeah, okay. For sure. Yeah, we can talk about that. It's and it's super effective. I mean, we all do it, right? Even when you and I met, I told you to start doing it. And I think we just exploded your feed and your new clients, right? Or potential prospects.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it definitely grew when we met.
Yeah.
So is Cheryl nearby?
I'm going to shoot her a link here.
All right. Perfect. We'll get into the masterclass if you guys have any questions about the masterclass, if you have any questions about paid to pitch and what that looks like, now is the time to ask those questions because we're going to get those answered by Cheryl, which reminder, the masterclass is on the 20th. Is that right, Shane? What time do we go with?
4 p.m.
4 p.m. Eastern. Awesome.
Yeah. So, and I've gotten a lot of, so one big question I've gotten a lot is, I want to get the masterclass. And are the recordings available? Like if I can't attend at 4 p.m. on the 20th, like, can I get recordings? And of course you can. If you're going to, if you purchase, you get all the recordings, you get all the material. You get basically everything that everybody else is getting. The only thing you don't get is the live Q&A that we end up doing at the end of these.
Right. But if you have questions, you can ask
absolutely.
them at the time and we'll get them answered in the Q&A.
Exactly. Yeah. Or even if you have questions after, I mean, we're in the group all the time. And so that's been a big question. There's been a couple other ones too that Cheryl here can answer as well. And hey, nobody's asking where Austin is. I didn't even ask.
I know. Austin.
Nobody misses you, Austin.
Hashtag, where is Austin this time?
Yeah.
That's how we make it unique. We add this time.
Here's Cheryl.
Awesome. Hey, Cheryl.
Hey guys. How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a little while, eh? A whole week.
I know.
Things are good. You keeping busy?
Yeah, keeping busy. I actually just got back from San Diego this morning. I went to a real estate event out there, small event, but
Nice.
yeah,
You're traveling everywhere.
yeah, trying to.
Yeah.
Which event was that?
It was a small event. This guy by the name of Zabraki, he deals with high-end, like luxury real estate. So, I'm licensed too. So I thought it was a good opportunity to go out there and just get some info on how he runs his business. So it was cool.
I think he's got a couple more of those coming up this year or early next year as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, really good stuff though.
Was it good? I've heard they are.
Yeah, he has a real like marketing mindset too. So it's like, all the kind of like direct response and copywriting kind of things that would like resonate with somebody who, has a marketing background really like spoke to me. So and he's all about basically working with fewer clients and making more money and just leveraging your time to work in higher end markets. So, and then the results that some of the people who've gone through his training before have gotten, it's just ridiculous, like what they're doing. Yeah. So awesome. I highly would recommend it. Yeah. And San Diego is beautiful too. It was my first time out there. So.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I've been out there one time, real quick, but it was a gorgeous place. It was a little cold when I was there. Was it warm when you were there?
It was about 70, which they said was cold on the news. They're like, yeah, it'll be warm again in the next couple of days. And it was like going up to 80 or something right after I left. But I mean, it's like 50 in New York right now. So I was out there feeling like I was in Hawaii, basically.
Right. Shane, do you know what 70 degrees feels like? Or does it ever get that warm in your area?
No, it never, like we there's no sun here. We have snow year round. Most of us walk around in snowsuits all the time. So yeah, what are you talking about? I know what 70 degrees feels like. Of course, the temperature here is the same thing as where you live.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
We're 4 hours apart.
Yeah.
Just because there's a border separating us doesn't mean it snows more here. Like.
Well, actually, no. It would snow more there because of the Great Lakes. You're on the other side, right?
We just get a lot of like strange weather. Like it's up and down. Like you can go from, I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, but like you can, a 30, 40 degree difference, within a day. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
So,
when I lived in West Michigan, it was similar because we had the lake effect coming across Lake Michigan there. So, but anyways, getting back to Cheryl.
Yes, rock star. Lots of people are interested in your masterclass, so that's awesome.
Good, yeah, I'm excited.
Tons of people that register, which is great. Which means I think people want to learn this, and I think people are looking forward to it. I know Matt and we talk about it every day, and we're kind of planning to see if we can sort of add this to our own business, and
totally,
yeah, because I think there's so much opportunity too. Like it's not. It's we wrote it, like we started building out these email sequences, and Matt wrote a really good one about, competition, and you have no competition with this, which is unbelievable. It's agents want training, and it allows you to build instant rapport. It allows you to build relationships really quickly, builds authority, and you can have fun at it, right? Like you're not getting the same objections as you would when you're cold calling or doing a ton of cold emails or whatever. Like it's and you're getting paid for it, which is
and also guys, if you're not signed up yet, at least go sign up like in the first thing to get on the email list so you can see those emails, because those emails are awesome.
Yeah, you did a good job. You did a good job.
I'm gonna sign up so I can read them.
Yeah, a couple of them I wrote, and then a couple of them Matt wrote. They'll all come from me, though. It's just Matt's name's not even on them, but I'll give you credit, Matt.
All right, that's all I need. I just need a here and there.
And don't give me a hard time about the typos. It's been so freaking busy this week. It's crazy, just putting like these these master classes are like, they're a lot of work to put together, right? Especially the prep and getting the funnels built and all that stuff. And then getting the email lists all put together. Like there's a lot of effort. And all three of us have been working quite a bit on trying to get this together for everybody. But so I just thought really quickly, if we can just kind of, I know there's been some questions in the group. I answered one of them, which was, if there's, are the recordings going to be available for anybody that can't show up? So yes, all of these are recorded, and of course that's what builds out I guess sort of the course part of it, and so the videos are available after. All the materials are available after.
Yep.
I know I've seen some other questions, Cheryl, just about one of the big ones was about if this can be applied to loan officers, especially the deck that is being provided.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think, I can't remember who asked the question, but yeah, you can definitely apply, especially to loan officers. I think any like really real estate related profession that is based on, commissions and, kind of like having to work for your money, this would apply to anyone who needs to generate leads for their business, and not even just real estate. And, it could be any industry or anything, but,
I think with the real estate, it'd be an easy tweak to move over to lenders, right? But
right, yeah.
Like looking at the slide deck, like if you're willing to do a little bit of work, you could tweak this to almost anything you wanted.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Oh, thank you.
I love it.
And it's a huge deck, right? Like it's what, 198 slides or something, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
The deck alone is worth the money. Like,
oh my gosh!
Like it would take you how long? That's crazy.
I spend a lot, put a lot of hours into putting that deck together, and then each workshop I revise it and add stuff and take stuff out and and modify it. So that's really that's the latest version that you guys have from the latest workshop.
Right.
That's actually from the full day workshop I did. So there's a little more content in there than the half days. So
which
if somebody was
to do the half day, they could just cut out the pieces that they felt they didn't want to focus on. Right? They don't have to. There's no half day deck. Like, cut out what you don't want to focus on.
Right.
Focus on the rest.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could take one section of the deck and spend 4 hours on it if you wanted to, because the material is just so. I mean, I think people really underestimate how much we know as marketers and Facebook marketers, because if you're in a room full of real estate agents or loan officers or small business owners, no shade, but they know absolutely nothing about Facebook advertising. So if you know even like this much about Facebook advertising, who was it? I forget who I was talking to in the group. Oh, Chris. He was saying, he's working with his wife and getting good results for her. So will the masterclass, will this sort of method of, getting paid to pitch work for him? I said, absolutely. You're already getting results from somebody. And when I did my first workshop, I had one client. I didn't show any testimonials. I didn't show any case studies during the whole event. And nobody asked me how long I was doing it, where I got my Facebook trading education from, or how many clients I had, or if it really worked, because I saw that it really worked. And 5 people signed up that day on my very first workshop with me having one client.
Yeah, and we're some of those objections as well. So people understand how to handle an objection if by some random chance it was a show up. We're going to be talking about that so that you don't have to worry about it. I mean, you're going to be able to get up on stage and basically be the pro, right there.
Yeah.
Even though it's your first time and you might be nervous about that, everyone else is going to be looking at you like you're the pro, you know everything, and you're going to have all the data to support that. So they have no reason otherwise.
Yeah, it's true. And I did, in terms of objections, there were none that I ever had to handle, because people were just so blown away by learning about all the stuff that they had really no knowledge of, that there's no reason for an objection, because you're basically telling them everything there is to know about, not everything, but so much more than they even were able to comprehend or understand before. So it's more so them just kind of being a deer in headlights than objecting to anything. So I would say don't underestimate yourself, because if you're doing Facebook ads for, other people, then you're already a million miles ahead of anybody who would pay you to come and get trained on it. So
absolutely. And Steve is asking, how much can you charge a realtor for Facebook lead gen, and what is the retention rate like? I think how much you can charge is, again, I've seen people charge anywhere from $500 to $5,000 for the most part.
Yeah, same.
It depends on what you're offering, right?
Mm-hmm.
As far as the retention, Cheryl, tell us a little bit about what you're charging the agents and what your retention has looked like.
Yeah, so at the workshops, I tend to give people a discount versus, you know, when I'm signing up clients in other venues. So most of my clients now are at, or the clients I'm signing up more recently are usually $1,000 to $1,500 a month, and I do a 3-month commitment with them. But for my first workshop, I started at $500, so $497 a month for 3 months, and had 5 people sign up, and that included Facebook lead generation, obviously. So I gave them, you know, buyer seller campaign, open house campaign, listing campaign. And then I threw in some bonuses. So like I threw in Shane's email drip campaign. I threw in a messenger bot and a couple other things. But I kind of changed around the stack a couple different times to play with different bonuses. Threw in a promo video. So I worked out an arrangement with my video person to do some like pro bono work to give them everybody a 60-second promo video. So that went over really well. So yeah, I mean, the value is there. If they don't see the value when they come to the workshop, either you didn't explain it well, or they're just like terrible people who don't want to grow their business. So yeah.
If you don't explain it well, it's because you're skipping slides, because like everything is covered in this. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, probably too much, but yeah, I tried to pack in a lot so that, you know, when I'm done, I don't have to answer any more questions. It's like, this is everything you get, and I'll do it all for you if you want me to. If not, here, you can take it and do it on your own. And 99% of people aren't going to do anything with it, right? So it's really the people who hire the help who are the people who go farther, faster.
Yeah, and what I was thinking, you could actually do a 2-day event, 4 hours each day or 3 hours each day. Like, do it as a 2-day event. Like, some people will pay more if they think it's a 2-day event, even though it's the same amount of time, right? They just don't want to sit in a room for 6 or 8 hours. So
that's a good idea.
A 2-day event and pitch twice.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of different things that we're going to be covering that could totally take this to, or take your business to the next level with this simple, I should say complicated, but it is simple. It looks complicated system that Cheryl's devised. So this is a great question from Chris. What about competition between agents? How do agents feel knowing other agents in the same area are your clients? That's a great question.
Yeah, no, it is a great question. And I was worried about that a little bit to begin with, but I found that, so I'm in New York City, so I had agents from different boroughs attend. So, you know, there's like Manhattan agents and agents in Queens. I had people from like Jersey and Connecticut come to a workshop in New York City. So people will come from different
outside of New York City. That would be like having people from other counties, basically.
Yeah.
Right next to each other, it still takes like an hour to get from one borough to the next.
Yeah, it'll take you an hour to travel 5 miles in New York. So yeah, people came from different areas, and you know, we all know real estate is hyper local. So I mean, there really wasn't a ton of overlap with the people that I signed up. And you have to also look at what they're spending in marketing. Unless each agent is spending like several $1,000s a day on Facebook, then there's really not going to be a whole lot of overlap, and you're not really going to be competing with yourself, or your clients are not going to be competing with each other in the marketing that you're doing. But I mean, as a benchmark, I'd say, you know, no more than maybe 3 per zip code. If you want to kind of like put that out there as a disclaimer, if people are saying, oh, I don't want all this competition, that's one way you could handle that if that comes up. But
yeah,
honestly,
I commented on, somebody asked the same thing in the group, and I commented on this. I've got one client right now that I work with. They're a broker. They've got, we generate leads for the entire brokerage in an area with a population of under 500,000 people. There's 42 agents that we work with, and we generate plenty of leads for all of those agents. So, and that's 42 agents in a very, very small area.
Are you giving duplicate leads to the same agent?
No.
Or multiple agents?
No, we're not giving duplicate leads to the same agents.
Or I mean, I'm sorry, multiple agents, right? You're giving the
we're not. No, we're not.
You know what I mean? You're not.
No, we're not giving. No, they all get their own leads. They're assigned their own leads, and yeah.
Okay, which is what I figured, but we want to clarify.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. So no, I've never had an issue. Nobody's ever said anything about it. Now I've had, you know, these big clients, you know, that are spending $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month. They're like, we want exclusivity in a small area like this. Well, of course, but they're paying that kind of money, and it's something else. That's something else that I think can work to your advantage, especially when you're doing these types of presentations. Is that you could limit it to a certain amount of people, or you could charge more after 3 months if they want exclusivity and they want to stick, stay on board with you. There's a lot of different things you can do, that kind of stuff. So, and I really don't think I don't think it's a big problem. I don't really think it's at the event while they're going through this training. And I don't feel like it would be something that they're thinking about when they're signing up as much as they would when, they don't really have time to think about it. They're taking in all of this information, and they're excited. Like the way you build out your presentation and the stack, and you're offering, all these bonuses and things like that. Like they're not, I don't think they're it's registering that, okay, you've got, 10 people just signed up in the same zip code.
Yeah. So. And also it's almost kind of like the opposite. They're like, well, have you worked with anyone in Manhattan before? Because they kind of want to make sure that it works in their area before they sign up with you. So I've had that question a couple of times, but I've never had, how many, there's too much, is there any competition in my zip code? Is more so, are you able to do what you can do in my area? So so the objections are things I feel like we come up with in our heads because it's new and it's kind of maybe scary to think about. But really, you're really not going to get, unless you have a room full of jerks, you're not going to get a whole lot of objections. And New York City is a pretty tough place for real estate. So
for sure.
And the other thing too is that, okay, so you do this thing, you've got 20 people that show up, they pay $50 to $100 each. You're making money. You're making $1,000, over $1,000 for a day's worth of work. Because a lot of everything else is automated, right? Like you've got the automated emails, you got the automated, tool that's scraping for emails. You've got the automated follow-ups. We're throwing in a bunch of bonuses to automate a bunch of other things that I'm not going to talk about. But so almost the entire process, all you got to do is show up, do the presentation that's up on the screen. You got the entire deck, so you get paid for that. And even if you just sign one client, like it's still, it's still easier. Like you're getting paid to pitch. I mean, it's, so.
Yeah, even if you don't send any clients, you could still potentially make money on it, depending on how much you spend on the room. Yeah.
And actually, somebody just asked that. Well, let's see. Dave says, but one sentence per line. Write paragraphs in your emails like the Queen intended. I'm not sure what you mean, Dave. Is that? I'm not sure.
Know. I don't know what he's commenting. I don't know if he's commenting about my emails or because they're all like one-liners.
It's Whiskey Thursday. Everybody gets a gimme. So, anyways, Dave. So his next question.
A good guy.
I love this question, Dave. How applicable is it to a webinar format, or is it strictly face-to-face? And he wrote after that, so I'm guessing that's face-to-face.
Yeah, so a webinar, essentially this is event marketing. So a webinar is an event, like a teleseminar is an event, an in-person workshop is an event. So yeah, I think it's totally transferable to the webinar format. I haven't done it personally, but you can. I think it's easily adaptable. It wouldn't be a 4-hour presentation, but you could easily chop it up and structure it to fit into whatever time frame you have. I've used the same deck to do like 1 to 2 hour lunch and learns and just cut some stuff out, and I've signed clients from that. So you can adapt it to any sort of event, any sort of one-to-many format that you can think of, I think.
Okay. I love it. And Steve is asking, okay, so is the $5 to $5K fee including ad spend? If not, what do you suggest a realtor spend per month? Typically, Steve, when we see that, the $5 to $5K, the 500, I should say, does not include ad spend typically. The 5K may or may not. But as far as a realtor getting started with ad spend, I think we're all going to have different numbers on this. So Cheryl, why don't you go first?
Yeah, so agreed. The 500 doesn't include ad spend, at least when I do it. So anytime I pitch, the monthly fee is just my management fee, and the ad spend is separate. So for solo agents, I recommend 300 to 500 during the workshops, and for like teams or brokerages, I recommend like 500 to 1,000 and up, depending on what size the team or the brokerage happens to be.
Mm-hmm. Shane, what do you typically recommend?
Oh man, I'm all over the board with this.
Okay. For a solo agent.
Well, the thing is, I think part of it is really it's always a little like it's always customized. Like it's always a little different for the agents because it's like, okay, you got to take into account, what kind of follow-up system do they have in place? Can they handle 200 leads a month? What kind of campaign are we going to run for them? What area are we in? What markets are we working in? Things like that. So, and I think you and I, Matt, we've talked a lot about this just in terms of like how many actual leads can somebody handle. What we end up seeing a lot of times is people getting frustrated over time because you're just feeding them too many leads and they just want to shut it off. And then they're just not following up properly. So the majority of the time when I talk to clients, I'm recommending a minimum of 500. Does that mean we spend the entire 500? Maybe not. Maybe some months we're spending a little less. Maybe some months we're maximizing the budgets. I had one client that I was working with. We spent his budget in 3 days. We had a really, really good offer, and we basically filled up his entire calendar for the entire month in 3 days. So, I think I think 500 is kind of a good sort of number if you're talking to somebody, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to spend that much money. And just, I think you just keep in mind that people have a hard time following up with 250 leads a month.
Yeah.
It's tough.
And I would say, as far as your ad spend, it needs to be somewhere in relation to your retainer, right? So if you're going to charge $5,000 to run these, you can't charge somebody a $500 ad spend. $500 for a $5,000 retainer just doesn't work, right? Because they're going to get 100 leads, and there's nothing like special about those leads at that point.
If you're only doing the Facebook ad side,
right? If you're just doing the Facebook ads, but at $5,000. If you are also including ISAs and email follow-up and a bunch of other things, like their ad spend could be anywhere from, I would say at that price, probably $1,000 and up. $1,000 would be the minimum. But for somebody who has like a $500 retainer, in that case, that's where I would be looking for about 50 leads, and I would judge their ad spend based on a high dollar amount for what the lead cost could be. So if I know that the high end of leads in this area is $10 a lead, then I want 500 ad spend. If I know the high lead cost in this area is $4 a lead, then I want 400 ad spend, right? Or no, that'd be 200 ad spend because I want 50 leads for them at $500. There we go. It's Whiskey Thursday. We don't do math well. But I hope that makes sense. Let's see. So next question. So you gather a bunch of agents and then you pitch to them.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what you do.
Summarized.
Yeah, that's a decent summary. The intention is
you get paid to do it.
Right. Yeah. So they paid to come to the workshop, and like the intention is teach them everything. So if they want to take it and do it on their own, they can, but most likely they won't. So the people who sign up are, people who are actually serious about implementing that for their business. So, and you get paid to do it. So either way you get paid. So unless you just let people in for free, which I don't recommend because you'll probably get like a 20% show up rate.
Right.
At best.
Yeah. We covered that last week.
Yeah.
We covered that last week. Your first event was free. So
yeah. Hashtag no freebies from last week.
Hashtag no freebies.
Yeah.
I don't see any other questions. However, no, okay. Leonard says, sorry guys. No, Leonard, I think you did a really good job summarizing it. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And that's what's so great about it, right? You're pitching to agents who want to be pitched to, who just paid you to pitch to them. I mean, that's awesome.
And people will come up to you, like at least in my case, people would come up to me before I even started to pitch, asking me like how they can work, how they can work with me, or do I work with private clients? And I'll talk about like how to, talk about that during the masterclass. But yeah, they will like essentially sell themselves before you even offer them anything. So,
and that's the truth. We're going to cover that in the masterclass, but that is so true that people sell themselves on this as you're going along. They ask you by the end of it. But anyways, let's see. I want to get 2 more questions, one that I have and one that Dave has before we get Leighton on, because I know we got Leighton and then we got Shane has questions as well. So Dave is asking, Dave, I'm going to make this a 2-part question because you asked the second one so quick. Broker pays for the whole team or each individual by themselves. And he also asked, as far as the masterclass, $100 a head. Does that include a light lunch? So as far as the broker pays for the whole team or each realtor, Shane, I would say that's typically an individual basis, right? Most of the time, the broker pays for the whole team.
Is he is he asking about the retainers?
I think so.
I don't know. I've seen it a couple different ways. So I've seen where the brokers are paying to generate leads for their agents for a number of different reasons. One of them because it attracts new agents. Mm-hmm. It helps them to retain more agents, and so it's just an additional service that they offer as part of being part of that team. So I've seen that, and then I've also seen where agents are paying $100 to $200 a month to be part of the lead generation strategy that the brokerage has. So I've seen that as well. But the broker is still paying a certain percentage of it, and then each individual agent is also paying a certain amount to be part of the lead generation stuff.
Okay, good stuff. I'm just trying to get through all these questions because we had a bunch of them pop up. And guys, we're gonna cut questions off on the masterclass right there, and then if you have cold call questions, put those down there for Leighton. So, anyways, Dave is asking $100 a head. Does that include a light lunch?
So for the registration fee, yeah. Yep. So I always include lunch just because I don't want people leaving the room and then not coming back before I get to pitch. So whatever whatever you charge. So I've charged as low as $47 for one person, as much as $297, and people have paid in the full range of that. So yeah, I would say. And it can be cheap. It could be like Subway sandwiches. It doesn't have to be like a gourmet hot lunch buffet or anything like that. You can, easily feed 20 or 30 people for like $150 maybe.
Hungry Howie's and Little Caesars.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, pizza. Yeah, there you go.
Although I have always enjoyed it when somebody would provide a light lunch, something that wasn't going to cause you to fall asleep in the next part of the presentation.
Yeah.
That's always enjoyable. So think about that. But let's see. Neil says, how do you market a home at $700K compared to a home at $200K? You know what? Let's save that one for the end, Shane, when we're going over the Facebook marketing.
Are you going to remember?
I don't know. You know what, Shane? Why don't you jump on it real quick?
My bottle of whiskey's almost done. You have to remember that one. No, I'm just kidding. Let's cover it that's a whole topic on its own. Let's cover that at the end. Yeah.
Cool.
If we get a chance, if not, I'll go back through the comments and answer it. If we don't get a chance, I'll go back through after and answer that.
Cool, Neil. We'll get to you, and if we don't, just post it as a question in the group.
Yeah, that might be that might be a better idea. Then other people can go ahead and
Actually, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Neil, let's post that in the group for everybody.
Because we told Cheryl, hey, can you pop on for 15 minutes?
I know. Here we are.
Leighton's waiting around, so.
He has one more question. Last question. Sure. And then again, you guys, cold call questions. If you have them, post them in the comments, because if the questions all come in at the end like this, we don't get to them all sometimes. So if you have cold call questions, post those in the comments now. Ian says, how would you sell if you don't have case studies or testimonials? 1 week free trial? ?
At the workshop?
Yes.
So yeah, I actually was talking to Chris about this in the group. So the first time I did this, I had one real estate client, and I didn't get a testimonial from him, and I didn't have any case studies, and it wasn't a problem. So I think your Neil's probably thinking about the one-to-one if you're maybe cold calling someone or doing direct marketing. If people are paying to come to hear you teach them how to do stuff, they're not going to scrutinize you and ask you if you know what you're doing, because you're already demonstrating to them that you know more than they know. So it hasn't happened to me in 4 more than that now events between my own and Lunch and Learns. So nobody has questioned, whether or not I know what I'm doing. They all as soon as you stand up in front of a room to teach, you're the expert in the room. So I wouldn't teach a workshop and sell a free trial. I teach a workshop and sell $500 a month for 3 months. If you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, then don't do any of this. But if you know Facebook ads, or if you have a fulfillment partner to do it for you, then it's not a problem.
Yep. Absolutely. And the other thing, guys, if you are worried about your ability to go get leads, reach into your pocket, pull out your credit card, put it into Facebook. Now go find an agent who's interested in handling some free leads, offer them free leads in exchange for a testimonial. Go run the same ad that we offer in the masterclass for $100 for a day, and you will have a testimonial at the end of the day. I mean, it's that simple.
Yeah, it's easy.
You might even have a client.
You might even have a client. I know because I just did it a couple of days ago, and he's going to be getting me a testimonial. You know, because I was testing out a new campaign, and I wanted to see, is this going to work? So I said, you know, I'm just going to spend $100 on my own client or my own money. I'm going to go grab somebody I know is going to take care of the leads and have him give me a testimonial. Like, just pay for your testimonial. You're basically buying a testimonial for $100.
I got to get that masterclass.
And it's real.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You just need, yeah, and the reality is you don't even need to spend $100 if you can generate like we've been seeing results in there for 45 cents. Like you can spend $25 and send somebody 50 leads in a day.
Yeah, I was testing a new campaign, which was $120 for 60 leads.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit different. It was a different type of campaign. We won't get into that, but the point is that you're getting a testimonial by just putting up a little bit of money. Like, it's not hard to get a testimonial. Everybody thinks you have to go get a client to get a testimonial. You don't. Find a real estate agent who's like, yeah, I'll take 20 leads. Say, will you give me a testimonial after you get them? They say yes. And you say, okay, I'm going to go get you 20 free leads. You know, if your ads are not great and you grab somebody in a rural area, you might pay $5 a lead.
I doubt that, but yeah.
Still, yeah. Well, you doubt that you're not going to pay $5. You're going to pay far less.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, worst case scenario, you spend $100 and you just got a testimonial.
I think the whole point though is with the events, you don't need testimonials. The fact, like Cheryl says, the fact that you're getting in front of people, that alone is showing your confidence.
Yeah.
And you build instant trust, instant rapport, and instant credibility by just doing that.
Ian says he meant over the phone. All right. Awesome question. We're going to get to that when Leighton gets on the call here shortly. So basically he followed your instructions and you decided to answer the question right away. Yeah, I was just like, oh, it must be a question for. Okay, my bad. That's my bad.
Sorry, Ian.
let's get Leighton on here. Cheryl, listen, thank you so much for popping on, answering all these questions. 40 minutes of your time tonight again, and we're really excited about this. This masterclass that we're doing on November 20th. Guys, if you want more information, there's a few posts about the masterclass. If you want to hop in, this is the time to do it.
Well, and actually, Shane, we're talking about doing one of these events ourselves, right?
Yeah, like we're like not just one, probably a few of them. So
maybe we'll have to record those and do some. For
sure. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah. So Cheryl, thanks so much. We'll see you on the 20th. And guys, if anybody else has more questions, just post them in the comments of those posts that we have inside the group, and then one of us will get to those.
Awesome. Yep. Awesome. And Leighton, get ready. We're going to send you the link here.
If he's still awake.
He just commented, so I know he's awake.
Okay, good.
Might be laying in.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Cheryl. We'll talk to you soon.
Just tag me in the group if people have questions directly for me. And sign up for the masterclass. I think the early bird rate is almost gone, right? So, and it's already way too cheap, so you should sign up.
Oh, it's super cheap. Like for what you're getting, it's crazy.
Slides, it should be $198 because the slides are totally worth that alone.
The deck is worth that. Yeah. The deck alone.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. And actually, with the early bird special, we said 25 people or Friday. Shane, I think we're pretty close to 25 people, but we're going to still hold the 25 people and we're moving it to Monday because we kind of screwed up on the emails getting out quickly enough. That was my bad. So anyways.
My bad, actually.
Was it your bad? Okay.
Yeah, no, you got all the emails done really quickly. I screwed up the automation. And in fact, I think a few people got a couple of the same emails over and over again.
Well, anyways, we're still doing 25 people but instead of Friday, it's going to be Monday. So you guys have an extra couple days here. But again, I don't think it's going to last till Monday because we're pretty close to 25. So
yeah, tons of people signed up today and stuff. So
awesome.
And then it's going up to what price, Shane?
I don't know. We'll figure
$1 million.
It's a surprise. It's gonna be a surprise.
It'll be 1 million.
Yeah.
$1 million after that.
Sounds good, Cheryl.
I keep saying it's worth $497, guys.
Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind that this is way too cheap, and there's so much value in this. All you need, like right now, all you need to do is sell 1 or 2 tickets. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, and the whole system is almost automated. Like Cheryl's actually going to show you here how to automate the entire thing so you can sell some tickets, right? Like it's just nuts. You have all the information. Anyways, I am so, like I said, I'm so pumped about this. When you and I first started talking about this, Cheryl is like, wow, like I wish I could do this because I just don't have the time to, build out, a 4-hour presentation and then figure out like how am I going to get people to come into this? What am I need to charge? All that stuff. I can't do that. I just don't have the time to do it. And that, this masterclass that we're holding, like that basically addresses everything. So I just have to send out a bunch of emails. That's it.
Yeah.
Actually, I gotta get Matt to do that. So because I'm not allowed here.
All right. Well, anyways, guys, thank you so much, Cheryl, for being on here. And again,
all right, thanks, guys.
Tag Cheryl in the question. She'll answer it or we'll answer it. We'll get it taken care of. Jump on the masterclass quick. The price is going up to $497. Maybe not $497, but it's going up.
Let's move on. Let's move on. All right, Cheryl, thank you so much. Have a great night.
All right, good night, guys. See you later. Bye.
Oh man, I'm telling you, this thing is worth so much more than $97. Like, oh my gosh, it's stupid. But
all right, let's
get Leighton on, guys. If you have girls, whoever, if you have questions on cold calling, dump those in the comments below. And also, if you're watching live, hashtag Live Whiskey Thursday or Whiskey Thursday Live. There we go. Hashtag Whiskey Thursday Live. Whiskey is WHISKEY. We use the EY, not the KY. I don't know why. It's just the whiskey version that we decided to go with. So hashtag Whiskey Thursday Live if you're watching the live. Hashtag Whiskey Thursday Replay if you're watching the replay. We're making them unique so you can go back and find them when you want to. But anyways, we're going to get Leighton Butler on here in a moment here. And you guys are going to love his accent from what I understand. And he's going to have questions, or he's going to have answers for your cold calling questions, which cold calling has been a hot topic lately. There was just a thread that was going for like, I don't know, like 30 some comments in there about cold calling. And I think a lot of those were me. I just absolutely love cold calling. So I'm so stoked to have Leighton on.
Yeah, I think you're kind of in love with cold calling, right?
I do love cold calling because there's something about like having an actionable step you can take every day to grow your business, right? My wife just messaged hashtag Whiskey Thursday Live. Awesome. She's watching.
Hey, what's up, Shane?
What's going on? Okay, hang on. Okay, everybody just quiet for a second. Leighton, introduce yourself. Listen to this accent.
Oh, Lord. Hey, guys, I'm Leighton. Why are you putting me on the spot, Shane?
I'm just kidding. Actually, you know, the first time you and I talked, I didn't actually think your accent was I didn't think you actually had that much of an accent. But as you and I started like talking for a little bit longer, I'm like, yeah, this guy's got a really cool accent, you know? And so I don't know if you heard the question earlier from Matt, but do you think you've been able to increase, like what do you think you've been able to increase your closing rate by because of your accent? And people without an accent, should we be worried?
No, you guys shouldn't be worried. It only works really. It only works really well on the woman. If I get like a realtor in between like 30, 50, I'll get the close a lot much easier because I have the accent.
They like the accents, right?
Real quick, where are you from? Where does the accent originate from?
So originally Jamaica, born and raised there, grew up there, left when I was about 18 to come to the US.
Okay.
Weird story, I actually got forced to stay and I never at any point wanted to become an entrepreneur. It was kind of just a traditional dental school kind of thing. And I've had a green card. So when I came to the US for that particular trip, we used to travel every year. When I came that particular year, they were like, "Hey, you have to stay or you'll lose your green card." So I had to stay because it's like a $2,000 process. And I was like, "Yeah, we're not flushing that." So yeah, I stayed and went to college. Dropped out like 2 years later. I just decided I didn't really want to do pre-dental anymore. I was working at a restaurant, met a real estate agent, learned about real estate.
Listen to that accent. It's like, now you can hear it, right?
Yeah,
it's awesome.
But you know what's funny to me is like when I'm speaking, to me I don't have an accent. If one of my family members speak, they don't have an accent. But like for you guys, you have an accent to me, so it's weird. But yeah, so
I got the friendly accent, right? The Canadian.
Yeah, you got a friendly accent, bro. 100%. Mine's in Detroit, so I don't know.
Well, I'm from the west side of the state, so
okay. All right.
I think I'm like grandfathered into friendly accents. I don't know.
Fair enough. I'm just playing.
It's all good. Yeah. It's all good. So, anyways, Leighton, you crush it on the cold calls. I'm so excited to have you on.
Awesome.
So, tell us a little bit about your background and what made you decide to start cold calling, because it's the most terrifying thing to most people.
Well, I kind of, so I'll be honest, I'm actually a pretty shy person. A lot of people don't know that about me. I'm pretty shy, and I kind of feel awkward when I'm put on the spot. But what actually helped me get kind of more people friendly was when I dropped out of college and was working in a restaurant. I had to serve tables, so I had to talk to people every day, all day, and that kind of took me out of my shell. And then when I went into real estate, I had to cold call because, you know, you can't really get anything going if you don't cold call. So I started cold calling in real estate, and that kind of made me a lot less fearful, I guess, of cold calling, of hitting the phone.
So when you got into real estate, are you an agent?
I was. I'm actually still licensed, but I just don't use my license. But what happened? So when I got into real estate originally, it was, you know, to try and escape the IHOP job.
Yep.
It worked for a while, but you know, I paid ridiculous fees to Zillow and Realtor.com, which is actually why I ended up leaving the game.
Wait, how much were you paying to Zillow and Realtor.com?
A little under 2,000. So for Zillow, I was paying a little under 2,000. I was getting like 10 to 15 leads max a month. And then with Realtor.com, I was paying about just under $1,000. I think it was like 970 something from two or three zip codes. And I was only getting, they promised me like 20 to 30 leads. I was only getting like 10 to 15 a month. And they were just renters. So it was terrible. And
wait,
doing that
for $2,000 and you were getting how many leads?
So I was paying about 2,000 to 2,500 a month in total. And I was getting in total maybe like 20 leads from both sources.
Wow.
And it was pretty bad, man. I mean, I literally drained me out in 3 months. What I made from my first two transactions between living expenses and then paying for those two lead generation companies, it was like bank account went straight to like $400 in 3 months.
Wow.
So it was pretty bad.
You're in this business where you're supposed to be making like six figures tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That everyone lied to me.
Yeah, right? No, that's crazy. That's crazy. So you were using Realtor and Zillow.com. And how did that lead you to starting your own marketing business and cold calling to get clients?
So that's a longer story. To make it short though, so when I was working at the restaurant still during this whole time, I left real estate again. I had my license active and just kept working at the restaurant.
Okay.
And I was trying to figure out, how do I pay my bills? Because I was it was literally like I was down to $300 or $400 left in my account. And I was just like, I have bills coming up. What do I do? So I went on YouTube and I was like, how to make money online. And I started looking into.
You went on YouTube and you searched how to make money online.
Dead serious, yeah. Seriously, that's what I searched.
I love that. I love that. Like that entrepreneurial spirit. You're just like, all right, how do we do this? Right? We're gonna buckle down and we're gonna do it. Like
exactly.
I guess he's not technically my brother-in-law, but like my sister's boyfriend, right? So the guy actually went on YouTube and learned how to code like robots for manufacturing on YouTube, watching YouTube courses.
That's crazy.
Got a job doing that, right? And so like I love when people go on YouTube and that's what they learn. And that's how they get out there and do that. Because I think that the times are changing, and the number of people that are going to be going to college at some point is going to be reduced, to the people in the medical field and in law and stuff like that, because there's so much available just online on like YouTube and things like that. You went on there,
100%.
searched how to make money online.
Mm-hmm. So I went on YouTube, looked up how to make money online. And then it was like I was just looking at different things that I could do. So the first boat into the entrepreneur space online was actually drop shipping. That was what everyone was doing. So I learned how to create a drop shipping website. Did it wrong the first way. I went on to WooCommerce, which was terrible.
Right.
I should have just went on the shopping.
I started there too.
Because I was like, I want something that's going to be long term, and I can just do it one time and get it over with. And it was terrible.
So drop shipping didn't work out for you.
Well, at first, no, but like a month later, when I finally decided, I just need to do this right. Everyone's talking about Shopify, so I went ahead and set up a Shopify account, got a trial, and within 2 weeks, I made back enough money to pay for the trial. I figured. Wow. So my girlfriend had like a niche that she loved, and I kind of was like, well, if my girlfriend's so obsessed about this stuff, maybe I can sell stuff like this. And then I started selling stuff like this on Instagram, and I made some money. I paid my bills doing dropshipping for about 3 months. I made about $8K dropshipping in about 3 months.
Revenue or profit?
From scratch, yeah. And that paid my bills until like December. And then in December, when the whole the apocalypse happens every year, Q4, it gets kind of crazy, and CPMs are just ridiculous. I wasn't very good at Facebook marketing at the time. I was just kind of like dabbling into it. And then e-com is like a completely different monster from lead gen too. So it's a lot different now. I mean, if I went back into it now, I'd do a lot better. But at that time, some of the stuff I know now, I never knew at all anything about, Facebook. To me, it was like I was messing around with an advanced robot in the back end of Facebook. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, so I left dropshipping, and I was trying to figure out, I guess, the next thing. I had a buddy that did affiliate marketing. So I tried that out for a little bit. Actually did pretty well. I made about 4K in about 3 weeks doing affiliate marketing.
Okay.
And, the thing is, the company that I made the money for, they didn't want to pay out my full commission. So I was like, you know what? I don't really want to. They paid me like $1,000, which is okay, covering my bills for that month. And I was just like, I'm sick of,
Shane, I'll be right back.
I'm sick of no worries. Yeah, I'm sick of just like
one of the things we never realized about Whiskey Thursday is how many of these short breaks we need to take.
It sends a PO.
That's right.
It does. Dude, while I was waiting, I had 2 vodkas already.
You already did, eh? Okay, good stuff.
I really did.
That's awesome.
I was just like, let me just chill and drink some vodka, and I was on my phone.
That's awesome.
But, yeah. So yeah, I did that the affiliate marketing gig for a little bit, made some money there. And I wanted to figure out something that was like more consistent, where I could bring in revenue consistently every single month. I wouldn't have to worry about, losing. Well, I guess I did want to have clients, but I just wanted something that was more like salary based, because having clients is kind of like having a salary. It's coming every single month as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do. And with affiliate marketing or Shopify, it's if Facebook has an apocalypse on for Shopify, for example, for drop shipping, your CPMs go ridiculous, your cost per purchase goes ridiculous. You're competing with everyone in a particular area for particular keywords or interests, and it just gets ridiculous in terms of cost per purchase. And it's a lot harder to break to profit, or even to break even sometimes when you're doing drop shipping. Not to mention, then you have to deal with refunds because of, shipping times. And then people aren't happy because they say that it's a Chinese label on the freaking package. So it gets kind of ridiculous. And then with, of course, affiliate marketing, I didn't want to get screwed over by another company that wouldn't pay out. So I was looking for the next thing. And then an ad hit me from a guy named Iman Gaji. And he's a social media marketing guy. He's a kid. He's like 16 or 17 now. And I just I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of his teachings, but he was the person that introduced me to the concept of social media marketing and doing it for local businesses. And then I went ahead and, started learning how to do it. I did some more YouTube research, found a mentor, paid that guy. I used my last bit of savings to pay that kid like $1,500 to teach me everything he knew. And once I got the basics done, I understood Facebook ads already. It was just a matter of getting clients. So I was like, all right, well, I started calling dentists and chiropractors, and I couldn't get them on the phone because those, you can't get people like that on the phone very easily. They work inside the business a lot. So I was like, well, who do I call? And I was like, I'm a realtor. Why not call real estate agents? This is something I would have needed. And then, being honest with you, what I did in the first week, which is crazy, I picked up the phone. I kind of refined the script. I knew that realtors are pretty busy people. Right. I knew that, they get a lot of calls, because up till that point, up till this point, I'm still getting marketing calls, and I have not sold a house, which is ridiculous to me.
Yeah, as a realtor, was that interesting to you? The fact that like you were getting all these marketing calls, and now you're like, you know what? I'm just going to start making them.
Yeah, that's actually what I think. You know what? I think someone actually called me, and that's where I got the idea. I think someone might have called me. I was like, wait, why don't I figure out how to do real estate marketing? Because the guy that taught me how to do social media marketing, he taught me how to do ads for like dentists and chiropractors. So I wasn't really familiar with doing them for real estate. But I said, you know what, screw it. Let me just go ahead and get some revenue. I'll learn later. So there you go. I picked up the phone, and at the time when I picked up the phone, man, I had like $60 in my account. I tell all my students, I have a couple of mentor students, and I tell them the story, and they think it's a story, but it's the truth. I had $60 in my account, and I picked up the phone. I was like, my bills are due next month. My car payment is like 2 months overdue. My freaking insurance is about to be overdue. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do it.
I love it.
And it was like, I started hitting the phone. I had like, the first 30 calls I made, I had like 3 meetings, and I couldn't believe it. And it was just life changing. The next week, in about 3 or 4 days, it was like a Wednesday or Tuesday. And in 3 or 4 days, by the end of the week, I had like 8 meetings booked for the next week.
Wow.
I closed 2,700 the next week, not even knowing what the hell I was doing.
Was week 2 of doing this.
This is week 2. Yeah, within a week, because I started calling.
You closed 2,700 in a week or in 2 weeks?
And so, to be precise, it's like a week and some days. I started calling on like Tuesday, on like the Tuesday of the first week, and then by like the Thursday, I had 2,700 in my account sitting down.
Okay, so we're talking about 9 days. 9 days.
9 days, yeah.
$2,700.
Yeah, and it wasn't even. Sorry.
That's $300 a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
And that's more than I made.
You still got to do the work.
Like 1,500 a month at IHOP, and I made that in a week. So I was mind blown.
Oh my gosh!
So just because I don't want to go through your like everything here. This was kind of just get you on, do a quick intro.
Yeah, sure. And then go through some strategies.
Yeah, and guys, if you guys want to hear more, we're not going to cover the whole cold calling strategy and stuff like that on this Whiskey Thursday, but we've been considering bringing you back to do another Whiskey Thursday, like the entire episode, go through all the strategies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As long as people want you here, we do the members, so guys, if you're watching, and you want them to come back and go through some strategies, and go through maybe some of the tips, tricks, and things like that. I do want to cover a couple of things before, because we don't want to, Matt could probably go on till 2 o'clock in the morning here.
The after party is going long, Leighton, so stick around.
Okay, yeah. You guys are gonna have to do that
most days. Don't worry.
Yeah, but we're probably gonna end the show pretty soon here. I got to get going and stuff like that. We don't want to run these too long, but we definitely want to get you back on board. I just want to remind people here about what you've been able to accomplish. So you strictly focused on cold calling. You went from $0 to $19,000 in retainers.
A little over 3 months. Yeah, it took me a little over 3 months.
3 months.
The first month after I got those first closes in, it was like about how to learning how to do the ads for the right way. So I bought a couple of courses, connected with a lot of people. Actually, during that time, within the second month, I think that's when I came into one of your groups, Shane, and connected with you and some other people in there. Yeah. And it was like a really good network of learning. And then after that, it was, because I knew what I was doing now, my confidence went straight through the roof. So it was like I was booking meetings like every single day. And it was a mix of, to be honest with you, just to be transparent, at first I was cold calling, but the more cold calls you do and the more people that you call, it gets a little bit harder to keep to maintain it, especially when you're starting to have to do the fulfillment. So I started automating LinkedIn a little bit as well, which I guess I can teach if you guys want me to help out with that as well. But initially it was strictly cold calling. For like the first 2 months, I just did like 50 to 100 calls every single day. My goal for each day was 2 meetings every single day, and my theory was
I love it.
2 meetings a day. That's 10 meetings a week. If I call for 5 days a week, that's 40 meetings a month. I should be able to close at least 5 of those. That was my theory. And I was closing 3 or 4 every single month consistently.
That is awesome. That's awesome. Because like when I was a real estate agent, my goal was 2 appointments every day. If I can set 2 appointments every day, I can make whatever I want. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's the same approach you took. I love it. I love it. Yeah. I like so badly. I want to dive into everything, but I know we're going to have you back.
Time is limited.
The 22nd, is that what we're looking at? The 22nd to have Leighton back? If that works for you, Leighton?
Yeah, at some point, hopefully at some point in November here before we hit December. So, but definitely we want to get you back on because I think this is a pretty hot topic. This is something that people are willing to do. I'm not. I hate cold calling. I've never made a single cold call in my life. It just
missing out, bro.
Well, like I mentioned in one of my comments, I'm just way too emotional. It hurts my feelings when people say no, and so I just can't handle it.
It's hard initially. I'll be honest. I got my feelings hurt a lot when I started. I had a lot of hang-ups. I had a lot of people tell me to F off. I had an N-word dropped one time. I was like, whoa. Because the thing is, you have to remember, I live in the South, so it's kind of
like,
hard.
What happened?
It was just like, hey there, this is Leighton. And first, the thing is that you have to remember too, when you're just starting, you don't have a really good script. So
right.
I had to perfect my script after, a month or two of calling. But like I called, and I was like, what my script used to be was like, hey, this is Leighton from Butler Media. I'm just calling to see if you have anyone helping you with Facebook ads. And it was like, who are you? And I'm like, I'm Leighton. And they're like, where are you from? And I'm like, I'm trying to do like a Southern accent. I don't know if it's coming out very well. I'm like, Butler Media. It's like, you sound like one of them. And I was like,
whoa. Whoa.
ER, baby. Hard ER all day.
Oh, ER. Wow. Okay. So at that point, were you like, hey, you're a real estate agent, and that was an ethics violation. So
hang up, move on. I don't care. You see, the thing is, and what I've come to realize, especially, there's a lot of differences here. I actually didn't know racism was still a thing till I came here, to be honest with you. Because in Jamaica, we don't really have that. It's more class discrimination. But coming here and hearing that, it wasn't my first rodeo with racism. So I was just like, okay, hang up and move on, because there's so many other people to work with.
Oh my goodness, that is wild. That's crazy. Like,
it's the South, man. It's the South.
It happened. Is that the only time it's happened, or has it happened multiple times? Or?
So that's the only time it's happened on a cold call.
Okay.
Outside of cold calling, just in everyday life, if you go to some restaurants around, so Atlanta is kind of funny. You have this circle called 285 is the highway, and anywhere outside of the circle, the farther outside you get of the circle, the more racist it becomes. So,
oh wow!
So once you're inside, like, it's a melting pot of every culture, and then outside it's like racism and rednecks and Confederate flags and KKK flags, and it's crazy.
My gosh!
Yeah. So, and the thing is, I used to work outside of the circle. I used to go to school outside of the circle. So I've been into restaurants, and it was like I walked in, and there was no diversity, and I walked in, and it was like the music stopped, and everybody was like,
oh my gosh.
But you have to I'm at that point now where, man, there are lots of good people in the world, and there are lots of bad people, and you just have to make the best of every situation. That's how I look at it. Well,
and that's great, because that is one thing that you have to have, regardless of the color of your skin. You have to have thick skin if you're going to do cold calling.
Yeah, you do. I 100% agree, because even if it's not even racist, if it's just, sometimes people have bad days, and you have to realize it's a stressful job too. So you'll call them, and you don't know what's going on in people's lives. I've called people, and so I had one woman break down with me on the phone, and I ended up just talking to her. I didn't even sell her. I didn't pitch her on anything. I didn't ask her to have a meeting. It was just she had a really stressful day. She had a friend that passed away. She had a lot of drama going on at work. One of her deals fell apart. And I was just like, damn, that's just like a really bad day. And I was like, hey, it's gonna be okay. And she started crying. She was borderline.
Wow.
She just got off the phone with her client's lender, and she needed the money, and her deal just fell apart. And she doesn't know what she's gonna do for leads. And I was just like, damn.
Right? No, and that's the truth of it. Like, I've had similar situations in cold calling because I've made thousands and thousands of cold calls, right?
Yeah.
And there was one that I remember. I thought the same way that you did just there, where you said, you know, they're having a bad day, okay? Because this person blew me off, and they were not nice at all, not in any sort of way of nice. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna mark them down for a call back in 2 weeks. I called them back in 2 weeks. I ended up listing her house. I sold her house, and I found out the reason she was having such a hard time is because her husband was just put in prison.
Dang.
Because he had some illegal he had child pornography on his computer.
Oh Lord.
He went to prison. And so she was a mess. But you don't know what people are dealing with.
You don't.
This woman was an amazing woman, and I worked with her to help her find a new house, to sell her house. Like, it was one of like the highlights of working in real estate, being able to help people like that. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
But had I taken that personally while I was cold calling, I would have never known that. I would have never been able to help her. And like, I would have thought she was a bad person.
Exactly. You just have to, how I look at it, man, you know, everyone goes through their own stress. And my prerogative, my take on life is this. Just be nice to everyone, because you don't know what everyone's going through. And I don't tell lots of people this. I guess I'm going to reveal one of Leighton's secrets. Throughout my life, I'm kind of like, I guess, getting better with it, but I've had a lot of depressive, times during my life, and it's sometimes it's just someone saying something like, not even. I've had some really bad days, man. Like, I won't go into detail, but I've had some really bad days, especially growing up in a third world country. I've had some pretty bad days, and it's just sometimes people will say something nice to you, and it will just make your day better, and you don't even realize it. So my whole prerogative is just like, as I said, just be nice to everyone, because you never know what everyone's going through.
Stay Irie, right?
Stay Irie, man. Or stay Irie, man.
Stay Irie, man. I went to Jamaica on our honeymoon, and we came back, and we ended up not having a honeymoon baby, but we decided to have a honeymoon puppy, and so we named our dog Irie, and so we have Irie, and it's hilarious because we'll be like, "Stay Irie," and we just always thought that was we see it all the time, and we still laugh.
That's hilarious. I love that name.
Yeah, no, it's great. So no, but we've got to wrap this one up. We are going to have you back for sure. Shane, I just sent you a couple messages real quick, because I'm trying to figure out, like, when can we get Leighton back? Is the 22nd? Is that Thanksgiving? So we'd probably need him back on the next weekend, right?
Yeah, I think we're gonna be like shifting Whiskey Thursdays around a little bit over the next couple of weeks, because you're gonna be going out and killing animals next week.
I'm going hunting. I'm going hunting. Shane,
is that what's the difference here?
You're not going to get any steak if you keep it up.
So you're gone next week. The following week, I believe, is Thanksgiving, which is why we shifted the masterclass and stuff. So it could be the last week of November that we have you back on. Again, we got to make sure the members want you in here. I'm looking at some of the comments, and it looks like you've got a couple fans. So maybe, if we get a few more comments here that say, bring Leighton back, then for sure we'll have you back at the end of the month.
Yeah, the goal,
I'm just kidding, buddy.
The goal is the 29th, Leighton. So you have to commit to it right now, though. 3,
awesome.
2,
Yeah,
1. Now, okay. That was a little office reference.
If they want me back, I'll hook them up with something in the meantime to get their appetites with.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I have an ebook that teaches how to cold call. I give it to some of my coaching students, so I can give it to you guys for free if you guys want it.
Hashtag Leighton's ebook.
I'll run it through Shane first, so he can take a look at it and see if it's cool.
Sure. Sounds good.
Make sure we're not giving away too many secrets.
Yeah, I don't want to give away too many secrets. We have to get them back in here.
Yeah, if you guys want Leighton to come back on the 29th, hashtag Leighton the 29th. Let's get him back in here for
Let me
sure.
get you guys locked in. What time would we usually meet?
9 o'clock,
9 p.m.
Thursday.
9 o'clock, gotcha. Okay.
Eastern.
Just put you in. Because, oh man, you haven't seen my calendar this month. It's been crazy.
So yeah, so basically the goal here is we get you back in. You got to be drinking. We try and get you drunk. You share all your secrets, and then we end the show. That's it. And then we block you out of the group.
Oh no!
this is the kind of group we are.
I can't get, dude. It's hard for me to get drunk these days, man. I can hold my liquor.
Drinking a lot.
You need that. What did we drink in Jamaica? Appleton rum.
Oh yeah, Appleton Run will do it. Give me 2 cups of that, you're done. Appleton Run will knock you out. You'll sleep like a baby.
Oh, I tell you what, that was amazing stuff. So awesome. Well, I think that's it for now. However, if you guys have questions, post those in the comments below or post them in the group in general. We'll be sure to get to those. If you watched all the way through, hashtag Trooper. If you're watching live, hashtag.
I love seeing this too. Like
live.
I love seeing the people that have watched for like an hour and 45 minutes and they're still here. It's like, those are your true dedicated fans. That's awesome. You guys are awesome. If you're sticking around watching this, I get a lot of comments from people that just love these Whiskey Thursdays. I think they're very, we're authentic. It's different. And we've got some really cool guests like Leighton coming on and hanging out with us for a few minutes. So we really appreciate everybody, coming on, checking us out, and sticking right till the end. It's pretty cool.
For sure. And again, guys,
especially to listen to Matt talk all the time.
I know. We were talking. Are we, Shane? Are we going to move Whiskey Thursday to Tuesday next week? Or
why? Because you need more time.
Because Tuesday next week? Because I'm not going to be here on Thursday.
I know. Next Thursday, Matt's gone. We just mentioned that, right? You're off getting more steak.
More steak and jerky, man.
So I don't know. We'll figure that out for next week.
Leighton wants some.
I'll take a prime rib.
There we go.
He's going out hunting rabbits, man. You're not gonna get up.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Rabbits, come on.
I've actually been curious. Are rabbits good? I've heard they're pretty good.
I've heard they're good, but the problem with rabbit, from what I understand, is that there's not enough fat in the meat. So it doesn't have
what about all the vegetarians on the show here? Come on, guys.
I'm sorry, guys.
Sorry.
We have a pet rabbit here.
About tofu. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, hashtag Trooper if you made it this far. Hashtag live if you're watching live right now, or Whiskey Thursday live. And if you're watching the replay, hashtag Whiskey Thursday replay. But anyways, we're going to call it good for the night. If you have questions, post them in the comments below or post them in the group and we'll be sure to get to them. Thank you, everybody, and have a great week. We'll talk to you hopefully Tuesday. I don't know.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll announce.
Stick around there. Stick around for a second. Hey, Leighton, stick around for a second.
Okay, sure.
Okay, guys, thanks a lot. Have a great night, and we will talk to you soon. Take care. And